Hello, hello, and welcome. Taking a little break from smuggler coptering and such. Gonna play some black-white zombies. We've already qualified in Quest for the Best. We've qualified a black, grindy zombies. This is a zombie deck built around tokens, and it's in black and white. So hopefully we'll get to see some of the absurdities that this deck does. We've got the typical zombie early game that I think everybody can agree on, along with the typical black removal spells I think everybody can agree on. Where things get spicy is up in the 4-drops, where suddenly out of nowhere, RKO style, anointed procession shows up to go along with Angel of Invention, the Lilianas Mastery, from under the floorboards, and Stir the Sands. So we go pretty ham on the token top end. Instead of trying to wrap the game up on turn 5 or 6 like a lot of other zombie decks, we're generating like infinite zombie board. And if you have a cryptbreaker out for any amount of this, drawing you cards, and a wayward servant draining life, it is like going off. So hopefully we'll get to do that a bit today. You guys can enjoy it. Our mana base, nothing too shocking or controversial, I think, but we do, of course, play that Westvale Abbey. We are a token deck, and that does come up. All right, let's get right to it. Off to work we go. This deck is slower and probably more vulnerable to flyers, opposing vehicle decks, and also control decks, I think, as a result as well, if they run counter spells. Now, if they just run board wipes and don't care about counter spells, you're in a better position. But against control decks with counter spells, and against vehicle decks that go fast with plenty of airborne presence, I think you're a little weaker than average. But all that stuff in the middle, and definitely against like other zombie decks, you just kind of have a bigger game than they have. So let's see what kind of a matchup we get to start off our day. There's my chat room. What's up, guys? Arrogant Rabbit, Neon City. More like annoying procession, am I right? Well, I mean, unless you're the one using it. Duh. And, hey, Echo. How you guys doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully we have a fun time and just go crazy. So we've already got Procession, we've already got Stir the Sands, we've already got Cryptbreaker, so I can't send this hand away. It's like the engine is here. The question is when you deploy it and how do you use it. Gonna have Ink. What they gonna do? What do you think? Well, we got an Evolving Wilds. It's still a mystery. We still don't know what's happening. The Saucy Sauce. Swamp. Black on black. Washes out as nothing. Alright. So one of the big question marks I always have here is if I'm supposed to play my Cryptbreaker. Because obviously if I use it with a diregraf colossus, there's a trigger to be had later. Annoying Procession's on the horizon. It's probably a long time. I don't want to discard anything. I think I'm just going to hold it. It is the easiest thing to remove, especially early in the game where the opponent might not have other things to do with their mana, and they're holding like a Fatal Push or Grasp of Darkness. You put out your Cryptbreaker, it just dies. You get no value. You play it later, maybe you get a zombie token, or 2 zombie tokens, and maybe you get to draw a card. We also get to make a play like this, by leaving up our Fatal Push. We get to take advantage of their 2-drop that they did play. We were patient with ours. Alright. More planes than I ever want to see with this deck, to be honest, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. Got a question of how Stir the Sands is working out. Well, there are times where I'm getting run over and curb stomped by a green-red aggro deck, and I look at Stir the Sands and think, you suck. And then there are times when the control deck or the Planeswalker deck wipes my board and I untap with Anointed Procession on the battlefield and I Stir the Sands. And I think, this card is God's gift to Magic. It's a high variance card. There's no question about that. I won't try to paint it any other way, but when it works, it works. The fail state as you cycle, you get a zombie. It's very meh. Alright, well, do I go for the Procession or do I go into Mummy Crypt Breaking mode? That is a good question. I'm almost certain to lose this Colossus. Which means when I untap, I don't really do anything with this Procession. So The question is my board going to get swept? If it isn't, we're just going to eat everything alive. And then next turn we'll play the procession, and with the help of visions drawing lands, we can stir the sands. So I think this turn is Breaker Mummy turn. We're going to make him have a sweeper right away. And do we want to draw cards here? Nah. Visions is going to help with that. Let's... Oh, you know what? One card, though, seems pretty good. Especially since we're going to be under the damage threshold for Visions. So I think I will draw one card here. So, being down to 3 means we don't take damage. I can definitely peel another card here. I'll need it if I get swept. Alright, Grixis Colors. What are you going to do to me? How much is it going to hurt? Radiant Flames. Shocking. I don't know how I'll carry on. Alright, well, now we get the procession, and then we'll just make him draw sweepers until the end of time. Okay, I guess we'll just use the wilds. I mean, I could draw a Fatal Push. Doesn't seem too likely. Well, you know what? That's rough, right? The odds of drawing a Fatal Push and my opponent playing something I can push are very low. But if it happens, I'll feel silly. Oh well. Silliness it is. Since I'm about to draw thin. Cool. That I can take. Alright, what are you going to do? Dark Intimations? Just nothing? I don't like nothing. It means if he has counter spells, I'm a very sad panda. And then we have to decide if I'm playing around Censor. Too much land. I think I'm best just playing around counter magic here. And the way you do that is like this. If he's going to do nothing for his turn, then I'll instant speed stir my sand. I was holding up this Evolving Wilds in case I drew a Fatal Push. Say he plays Kalitas or something. Now we're making a move. It's Jace. Everybody loves Jace. We're gonna have to kill that thing though. He's probably got Fatal Push, but that won't help him. Alright, go get me my blacks. Cycle. So, yeah, the flood is definitely real. But don't worry, we'll make our way through. I think. Of course, I've said that before and never come out the other side. I think we've got half our deck out of land. There we go. Now we got something going. Alright, so I think we'll get back on that board. Go ham. Why not? The other option is to fire up the shambling vent. We play this, attack with those. Actually, I think I will fire up that shambling vent to go with this. If my opponent wants to take out the vent with the push, then it means my zombies kill his Jace. So everybody at the prince of who was promised over here. Alright. I'm ready for my next sweeper. Thank you. It's a good thing I have all these lands. Doing all their land things. Not like I kept anything too land heavy. Sometimes your draws just line up like meh. But don't worry. We got a ways to go. I'd be in a lot of trouble if it weren't for this fevered visions. It's kind of drawing me through drawing me through the land pocket. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll ever get my hand emptied. Yeah. I really do want to play this at a time where I can gain a bunch of life, so I think I'll just go this route. Yeah, thank God one of these lands is an abbey, so I have some productive things to do with my life right now. What's my opponent gonna do? They got any other creatures or planeswalkers they want to put out here and let me exterminate? They discarded a broken concentration a while ago. We played around counter magic a long way, and we still have the ability to keep doing that. But we are going to be draining 3 a turn, or taking 3 a turn between this and my Abbey. So here comes Lily. Hi, Lily. What you doing? And there is Disciple of the Motherfucking Ring. Okay. Well, whatever. Good stuff. I don't know why you'd put those out together, but do what you gotta do. We're gonna need a good draw. Pretty good. Pretty good. Disciple can't stop it. I think my opponent doesn't actually have that many cards in the graveyard. Yeah, we've only got 3 over there. So they tapped out. Let's go the distance, shall we? Am I supposed to attack? See if I can get my revolt. Why not? What you gonna do, opponent? You know it's a trap, but what kind of trap? Okay. Good choice. Alright. Here we go. Make them big, make them wide. Get our drain on. That's why we held the servant. And yeah, here hopefully we draw some more gas. Unbelievable. But our opponent will have a very hard time containing all of them unless they have another Radiant Flames. Probably got a handful of removal spells trying to figure out what to do with it. Go ahead, attack. Do it. Hey. What's that supposed to mean, right? I think that means a sweeper. Yeah, it means a sweeper, right? So what's the best thing to do? Block it. Yay, Radiant Flames number 2. Always my favorite card. I would have done that first to make sure the Disciple hit me. I don't like the attack with Lily, but I guess I don't know the hand. Maybe there's something I'm missing. This is getting preposterous. I mean, are you serious? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16. 8 left in the deck out of 34 cards. I bet I draw one. All right. Show me another land. That's what I need here. I'll just ask for it, and I'm sure it will be given. Opponent's gonna have a think about it. They're gonna let me draw my land. It's not a land. Oh boy. But it's not something I can really resolve either. How sad. Yep, you are a thing. You are in ice. I understand. Okay, let's fire this off now and see if my opponent wants to try to save the thing in the ice. They do not. Alright, let's make some tokens. And let's preserve life total. I'd rather lose 1 and gain a token than lose 3 and have 2 tokens with fevered visions and a hand that will never be emptied. Opponent gonna tank. They're gonna cut something. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's probably the death knell. Alright, he can make me pay 10 for a spell. And there it is, another land. So, yeah. Good stuff. What can I draw? Can I draw anything to get out of this? I mean, I could make him tap down my shambling vent. What if I just made 1 zombie? I only need to make 2 zombies for this to work, but then he just counters it. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he goes pay, pay, pay. He only needs 3 spells to make that happen. 1, 2, 3. Then he has 2 left. He can attack me for 3. And I'll be at 6, and he can ribbons me for all he needs. So this is suicide. So how about if I go to 9, if I go to 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he'll have 8 on the land drop, so that's suicide. So what do I need to do? It would help to draw a Grasp of Darkness. It would help to draw a spell, of course. We haven't really done that. Stir the Sands would be the best draw, probably. Nah, that will just get killed by targeted removal or tapped. I think we just have to make our opponent make the play. I think we just have to sit back, do nothing, make the opponent make the play. Yay, Glimmer of Genius. He's gonna really freaking regret that if I had removal in hand. I think that's really ambitious play for that spot in the game. I don't think you tap your mana for that. That's my opinion. Regret that so much if I had 2 Grasp of Darkness or an Anguish Unmaking. But nope, can't do nothing. Just too sad. Okay, Chandra. So my opponent's not taking the lethal line. They're gonna give us another shot at this game. Things are gonna have to break perfectly. Let's see, they could tap down all my blockers. Maybe that's their plan. Let's see what happens. See if he makes that play. He does not. Okay. I guess I'm inviting him to pump this, and maybe I can draw a Wayward Servant or pull off a hit with my Shambling Vent. So if he pumps this up to a 7, I go to 1. He can't cut me from here. Okay. I kind of want him to pump, is what I'm saying. It's the only way I'm going to get a chance to get back in this if I draw perfectly. I need another Wayward Servant. Okay, he's pumping. For 1. Okay, whatever. Does not do the trick. Is there a way? Just gets tapped. What if he counters this procession? 1, 2, 3, 4. He says pay 2, I pay 2. He says pay 2, I pay 2. And then I don't have enough mana left to make this play. Which has to be for 2. So it has to be for 5 mana to kill that thing, if I get him to tap down. I wonder what happens if I fire up my shambling vent. Does he counter it? It's probably all mute. Yeah, there's no way really out of it, so I guess I just make bad plays because my opponent has made bad plays and see what I can do. Will my opponent exile their cut, or their ribbons, I mean? Or will they just do what they can do, which is just pump the disciple? Okay. That's one way to go. Alright. Well, I gotta do this. And hope. Okay. You got it. This is so bizarre. Okay, I guess I'll leave up some mana, try to scare him, and hope he doesn't use ribbons. Another land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, now they're showboating. 17, 18 that I know of in the graveyard. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, you two can lose to the worst players in Magic history if you draw nothing but lands. Alright. No worries. We'll get the next one, but we are going to start off our little zombie token deck with a loss and put its back right up against the wall. It's going to make us work hard. Hello, Cucho. I don't know if that's how you say your name, but that's what it looks like to me. Shade Slayer 420. Now we gotta take it out on a 4 rank. So be it. The pairings have dealt us these cards. Alright. Oh, we'll roll with it. I'll really need another black, but can't worry too much about this. As long as I draw some lands, it's good. And we're gonna start with a Sunblade Elf. I think I'll just start by killing that. Tempo, tempo, tempo. Gonna make some tempo plays. Maybe I should hold it for something better, but I'm not feeling that right now. I'm feeling curvy. Let's curve out, please. And they're probably the green-white Renown deck. In that deck, this card eventually becomes a big problem. Or maybe they're just elves. We'll see. Either way, this card's a really good card against them if you get moving fast. If you don't get moving fast, it's a pretty bad card. And we've got Terrain Elemental, so we got an aggro deck. We've got an aggro deck. Perfect. I'll just hold up and see what they do. If he attacks, maybe I can blow out a wild size with this Fatal Push. Okay, maybe I'll just blow this out. That works. I'll take it. Languish elves? Naturally. Maybe that's what's on the docket. We got theories that I'm going to play against languish elves. No blocks for you. We're just going to take that option away. One might say, well, don't you just want to let him chump? Well, not really. Once the life total's under pressure, they have to chump even more awkwardly. I really liked your red-green ramp deck from the other day. Thank you. Appreciate that. It was a very fun deck. This deck can be fun. I hope we get to have some fun games with it. And nope, no land for you. And you just took 3 good cards and put them on the bottom. Opponent's gonna have a thinky think, and now we're moving on. Oof. Yikes. Okay, cool. I don't want to play either of these right now because I don't want to use the removal on the 1/1. But yeah, we're sitting pretty. Don't need to double tap. But you do get 2 binding mummy triggers for each zombie, and I get a zombie for each zombie. So right now playing a zombie lets me tap 4 things. Not that my opponent has 4 things to tap. Hopefully they work on that. So I can show you how many binding mummy triggers we can stack up. Opponent having to think about what to do facing down this army. And they have chosen this card here. Crown's Trumpeter. At the beginning of each end step, if a +1/+1 counter, put a +1. Okay, so it's a +1/+1 counter style of deck. Gotcha. I think at this point we just start doing this, making some guys and killing some things. Very hard to defeat if you cannot block. If you're relying on creatures to block the zombies, they can be hard to beat. Yeah, keeping that ranger down. We're just tapping. Tapping the Timberland guide. It's not even a ranger, it's just a guide. It's from the scout group, you know, he's just a boy scout. Not even scout master. It's just a human scout. Oh yeah, frisky. Sure, I bite. What's your combat trick? Or do I? Nah, I guess we're just working on killing him. Go ahead, play your wild size, or your titanic growth, or your larger than life. There it is. I knew they had wild size. I think I called that on turn 3. Alright. Are you ready? Get your fogs ready. It's about to go down. We're almost certainly going to get fogged here. Boom. 3, 2, 1. Oh! We dodged it. We dodged the fog. We got lucky. We got lucky. Fog spared us this time. Just didn't draw it, you know. Sometimes they just don't have it. Sometimes you make the wild play of attacking into fog because sometimes they don't have it. Not often, but sometimes. Right, game 3. We're gonna have to go the distance and win 5 in a row, or else this deck will get deleted and never heard from again. Those are the stakes, and they are high. Stakes matter. Now, I might play a different zombie deck. Like, this is the token zombie deck. Annoying procession, stir the sands from under the floorboards. That's token zombie stuff. Might play, like, vehicle zombies. They've got to have, like, about 10 cards different. Yes, that's right. Win or go home. I think I can keep this hand, actually. It's kind of a late-game hand, but it's got 2 of our best late-game cards, and it's got the Abbey. So I think I can run with this, plus the odds of us drawing something we can cast sooner are pretty high. That never means it'll work out, but you gotta play the odds. Can't be salty when it fails. You just gotta roll with it. Opponent's having a good old think about their first turn. They're rocking 81 cards. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you can go to, like, the warning comes in as soon as they go over 60 that you're not supposed to have more cards than that. So why stop there? I mean, if you're gonna go over 60 and not listen to the warning, go straight to 100. Take it to the top. This halfway stuff, it just shows a lack of commitment to me. And now, the thinking begins. As we work on turn 2. We'll put up with this for about one more turn cycle. Alright, we have chosen our glory-bound initiate. Well, he'll probably attack, he'll probably exert. Does that mean I need to grasp with this thing? Is that really a thing I need to worry about? Or should I hold my targeted removal spell here for something bigger? I mean, I play Binding Mummy, he attacks, I take it. He gains 4 life, I take 4 damage. The next turn, my Binding Mummy probably gets in. The next turn, my Binding Mummy probably gets in. That sort of nullifies his glory-bound initiate, and I can kill it then. The only difference is I'm down 4 life. It's actually a pretty tough call. I'll just play my Mummy. See what he wants to do. Removal spells, in general, if you're not under like life or death pressure or allowing an amount of value that can run you out of the game, removal spells get better the more creatures you have on the battlefield to strike back with when you remove the thing that would block or would attack. They're a bigger swing that way, so that's what I'm trying to set up here. Willing to take at least 1 bump, especially if he's exerting that thing. And we have a Thalia, so my opponent's deck is pretty legit. My deck is not being very legit, but I can play Dark Salvation here and kill the Thalia, and I think that's a good play. I could also wait till later in the game and use Grasp of Darkness now, which I think that's better, right? Because I'm definitely going to get up to 5 mana. Why not get more zombies out of it? Why not get bigger zombies out of it? I have Stir the Sands for next turn. I can use it at instant speed with the Binding Mummy to tap my opponent's Glory-bound Initiate so it can't attack, which is a neat trick I'll look forward to showing you. So we'll fire this up now and bring the pain. To be fair, I am taking a good amount of time on these turns too. They're a little, I mean, early turns are important. If you're not curving out in a very predictable way, the choices you make on these 2 turns, they compound over the course of the game. So to take back a little of the mocking of my opponent earlier for the time they took, I am now using a lot of time myself. So I admit it. Alright, so not gonna attack through that 06. That's a headache. I'm going to play the Westvale Abbey now. Another Thalia could come out of that monstrous pile over there. And I will stir the sands on my opponent's turn and keep their glory bound from attacking. I think that's a good play. It's an odd play. On one hand, this might be better for 6, but I also increase the odds of drawing another, and I have other payoffs. Nimbus Wings. Nimbus Pump Fake. Nimbus Hype Train. Nimbus Broomsticks. What is this, Harry Potter? Cartouche maybe? Is he trying to get me to bite on like a fatal push? Is that what's going on here? Could be. Could be an interesting way of doing it. Alright, you got it. Cartouche. Yeah. Alright. Cyclotron. Now you know attacks me. Haha. Right on time. Right on time. Alright. Sweet. Alright. They just have a 1/1. So attacking's not terrible. I do want to play this turn. I could also use Dark Salvation here. Pretty good. Yeah. Dark Salvation's just better here, right? Oh wait, what else can I do? I can cryptbreaker. I can fatal push this. And I can Dark Salvation this and leave him with an 06 2 lands and a 1/1 that are tapped. That's not terrible. Alright. Let's party. Narplay! Dude, what happened to you? You, like, disappeared into the aether or something. I don't know. It was crazy. What happened to you? But it's nice to see you again. It's been a long time. One of the first streamers I watched. If I remember correctly. Back before I was streaming, I was watching other people stream. Trying to figure out what the heck to do myself. I'll attack with you. But yeah, nice to have you around. And here comes True Heart Duelist. Something we'll have to tap down. I'll take my card, please. Been watching my VODs. Well, awesome. Glad I still put them up there. It's excellent. Alright, so we're gonna machine gun this. We'll tap the 06 and the 2/2 because it can block 2 things. That will force this to do a chump. And we'll go get the white so that we can Gideon emblem if we want to in the very near future. And that's all gravy, baby. Mastery! Boop-wah-wah. It's a lot of power for 5 mana. Nicole Bolas would be impressed with the power for that mana. And I think I'm gonna draw at least 1 card here, since 2 of them are tapped anyway, or 2 of them have summoning sickness anyway. Yeah, we'll draw 1 card on this. But you're very much doing it when you start getting to this point where you can draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch more zombies, draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch more zombies. As long as you keep your cryptbreaker. Alright, opponent of the massive white deck, what are you going to do? It's going to play a Trusted Companion and Scoop, but we're not finished with you, Braun Strowman style. We gotta see it through. Give me my card. I don't have enough. Never have enough. Always want more cards. Boom. Boom. Oh boy. So, I mean, we could Gideon emblem and stuff, but what's the fun in that? Let's do this. Tap all your things. Make that 2/2, tap you, tap you. Draw another black, huh? Alright. Charge. Should do the job. Give it a little tappy. A little tap, tap, taparoo. Aw, my video about shutting down duels right in the feels. I hear ya. Hopefully they make it up to us with a game that's amazing in the near future. But, yep. This is the game. It will always be stuck in Amonkhet mode. These will always be the cards. It's now eternal. Alright, I'm gonna hit the button. I'm gonna go chase down something to drink. And hopefully I'll get back before the game sticks me with a bad hand. Maybe the gold will carry over. Ah, optimism. All right, binding mummy plan in effect. I always get my double black to make sure I have it. In case you're wondering about what to fetch or how to decide. Fan bearer, mummy on mummy action. Bring it. Sounds hot. Not gonna lie. That sounds like something people would get a subscription for. Speaking of subscriptions you can get, hey, it's funny how things work. I asked for a Twitch partnership for a long time, and I'm not kidding, I think it was the week after I stopped playing duels and took my vacation, Twitch gave me a partnership, and there's now a subscribe button you can hit if you want to support my efforts. I won't yell at you if you don't, but if you got some of that Amazon Prime money, sure would appreciate it. So what do we do here? I think we binding mummy number 2, we tap the glory bound, we attack with binding mummy, and we can fatal push the glory bound when it goes to attack and exert next turn. Seems good. And then we have a nice big Lord of the Accursed attack while tapping 2 blockers. Seems good. Just hide that swamp. Who knows? That information might influence their decision. You never know. We also got our anointed procession, which may or may not happen, depending how fast this game goes. Anointed procession into stirring sands. It's a lot of zombos. Fan bearer. Yeah, I like this. Alright, good use of a turn. So I know what they're gonna do, so I'm just gonna kill this now to save time. We're sitting on that 2 and 1, that's for sure, Omega. That's the story. The only regrets I have here is I'm not tapping anything with my mummies. Their triggers were not needed. Looking for that 3 and 1 if we can hold this lead and our opponent doesn't bust out the radiant flames or something. Bearer of fans, whatever shall you do? A very pretty fan. You look like a maid, and you're here to dust the room intently. We could call this a Swiffer zombie, right? You can get one for your home. Oh, interesting. So we didn't want to take out the binding mummies and the 2-for-1. Thought best to get rid of the Lord. Okay. And we've got our another glory-bound initiate. All right, I can see we probably can't run the opponent over in this game. It may be time to go value train. Opponent's going to think about whether or not to poke me for 1 with this bearer of a fan. The Swiffer zombie. Just like, where's the dust? Well, you're a mummy. You're kind of made of dust. Well, what am I doing with a Swiffer? I could destroy myself. All right, I think the right place to spike the procession. The question I have in my head is whether or not to jam with these and see if my opponent wants to trade for one of them. I actually think that's a pretty good trade, considering the life gain from this, especially if he has a way to give it vigilance, could get him back in the game. I could also stir in 1 zombie, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that's a good play. Let's see what my opponent does here. No blocks. Right. I can dig that. All right, I dare you. I double dare you, opponent, to declare them in stone. I want to get 4 clues out of that deal from my anointed procession. It does work that way. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens. Yeah, so if he declares my zombos in stone, I get double clues. And here comes that glory bound. Wants a little bit of that life. I understand. Been there myself. A little bit of life gain goes a long way. Okay, so bygone bishop. What am I going to do? I think I want to put this off for 1 more turn. So I probably want to grasp this bishop, but I'll crack the clue first, because it would be great to make myself 6 zombies. Let's not kid ourselves. So I'm going to crack this clue first and see if I draw something I'd rather play than this grasp. Yeah, that does it. I really don't mind if my opponent makes a few clues. I don't think they'll live long enough to really enjoy them. No love for Unraveling Mummy. What's Unraveling Mummy do? I don't know what... Somebody hit that on the card thing, so I know what you're talking about. Although, with the winky face, I think Shard's making a joke at me, so it must be a card in the new set. Maybe it's the +1/+1 mummy? I don't know. Here comes a... Yeah, that's not going to trigger for a while. That's a fine card, but it doesn't stop the tap down. I have 5 lands. I need to top deck that 6th. Everybody cross your fingers. I want a very epic stirring of sand here in a second. Oh, Angelic Purge? No! No, what are you targeting? No! Not that! That's not okay. Not cool. So not cool. I'm not even sure it's the right target. I mean, maybe they know my hand, but it's kind of a difficult call when you're facing this board, right? And you're on 8 life. I don't know. Oh god, that mummy's horrible. Wait a minute, 3 mana for a 2/3. Target attacking zombie gains lifelink. Nah, that's a meh ability. Target death touch, that's pretty meh too. Nah, I don't think that's a very good card. It's pretty mediocre. That's not mediocre. Alright, let's do it. We don't have our anointed procession anymore, but we're still gonna win the game, so... Going off. Dun dun dun. Feels like sealed deck from Amonkhet. Not as bad as Tom Cruise's mummy. He's a pretty horrible mummy, you guys. I gotta give it to you there. I gotta give it to Omega there. Tom Cruise, great fighter pilot, excellent JAG attorney, terrible mummy. Just not in his wheelhouse. Excellent Jack Reacher. Military cop. Ex-military cop. A+ Mission Impossible type person. But no to being a mummy, dude. No. No. Not okay. Pretty good bar. Pretty good guy at a bar, at a cocktail bar. If you remember that movie called Cocktail, starring Tom Cruise as a guy in a bar. But not a mummy. Pretty good lawyer in the firm, not a mummy. Pretty good misogynistic ass monkey in Magnolia. But still better at that profession than being a mummy. All right, we're going for number 4. Not my mummy, that's right. All right, we got nice curve hand. Let's bring it. We're gonna need to draw some top-endy stuff, but that's usually given with the amount we play. He was really good at being lost in Vanilla Sky. I mean, he just looked like he woke up and never figured out where in the world he was. So this is always a conundrum. If you think your opponent's going to play a turn 2 creature, something that can block your zombies, you want to play Binding Mummy here. If you think they're not going to play a creature, you want to play a Wayward Servant here for the drain. Since they're green, I'm going to go with the Binding Mummy. If they were blue, I'd probably go with the Servant. I hope that makes sense, because I always receive a little bit of flack for the choice to play Binding Mummy first and miss out on a drain. But the idea is if they're going to play like a Sylvan Advocate or some kind of blocker, playing Servant taps it, so you get in for 2 with your Binding Mummy that you wouldn't get in for if you had your Servant. And sure enough, there is a creature that could block. Excellent sports agent, Jerry Maguire. Absolutely much better at sports agenting than being a mummy. What else does Tom Cruise do better than be a mummy? The list has to be very long at this point. Tom Cruise as a producer of film in Tropic Thunder with a very dirty mouth. Much better at that job than being a mummy. Much better. Oh, yes, and Neon's right on that wavelength. He mentions the Tropic Thunder as well. Much better at that than being a mummy. And here comes... Oh, race car driver, Days of Thunder. Much better at that than being a mummy. Just piling on now. All right, what are we doing? It's very tempting to Gideon here. Is that the right play? We can make our dudes 3s. If my opponent gang blocks, I can take out his Rhino. Do I want to trade any of these for a Rhino? That's the problem, right? I don't know if I do. If my opponent attacks Gideon, however, and makes this a 3/4, I can block with Dread Wanderer and a Knight token, and that's a fine trade. I would definitely trade the Knight token and the Wanderer, because this just comes back and I get triggers when it does. So I think I sit back and make a Knight. What was Tom Cruise worse at than being a mummy? Oh, dude. Oh, no. Oh, no. Maybe we can also talk about what Russell Crowe is better at than being being Hyde, than being Mr. Hyde. That's also got to be a good list. Better at being some smart Harvard mathematician type, definitely. Better at gladiation, no doubt. Making movies, making songs, and fighting around the world. Better at these things than being Mr. Hyde. Alright, well, I didn't see that coming, but there you have it. My opponent wants to kill Gideon. The question is, we can let him, or we can get chumpy. Or we can let Gideon go to 1 from the Rhino. Maybe that's fine. And make the other block we talked about. Yeah. I think Gideon at 1 is fine. Okay, there's a lord. Hello, me lord. So we play a lord, we tap a guy, maybe we can attack with some things. I guess if we power up Gideon, we can attack for 9. That seems pretty darn good. Yeah, I can't turn that down. Our opponent can turn around and attack Gideon, but at that point, we're just kind of tapping their creatures in the future so that they can't block. Oh, yeah, we're going to scry. And that's, I mean, if we're going to play that game, my opponent's just going to be dead the next turn. So if they attack Gideon, they better have fog. Russell Crowe is a terrible Roman. Aww. That breaks my immersion because of the accent. Aww. Come on now. Come on. But hey, to each their own. I can't pick on somebody if they're not into what Russell Crowe did in a thing. Like Gerard Butler as a Spartan. Did that do it for you? I don't know. What do you do? Oh, you get... I see what you do. Let's see. Enters the battlefield, you gain energy, pay an energy, and target creature gains haste. Okay. So are we going to do any energy paying? Nope. The AI decides we got a D up, and they are not wrong, but it's not going to help them too much. Power up Gideon. Instead of cycling this, I think I'll get the Dread Wanderer back. It's the same effect if I'm not doing it for the full 6. They're each 1 zombie. We'll say you, as you're kind of the best chumper. And we'll hit that menace button. And we'll bring that pain train. A little Brad Pitt and Troy. We're just talking about like the most generically handsome white actors to ever play roles with no effort at like matching the time period or anything of that nature. Just put them out there and let them do their usual thing. It'll be fine. Who wouldn't want to see Russell Crowe as a Roman? Who wouldn't want to see Brad Pitt as a Trojan? Yeah, he was a Trojan. Sorry. What? Or no, he's not. He was a... When they say the Trojan horse, it just throws me, right? Because are we talking about, like, who built the Trojan horse was not the Trojans, but the Trojan horse was given to the Trojans to invade Troy? Yeah. So it shouldn't be called the Trojan horse. It should be called the horse of the people who invaded, right? I don't know. Just saying, history got it wrong. Somebody tell Malcolm Gladwell. Greeks. There you go. Yeah. It should be called the Greek horse. Although I guess that doesn't sound very specific. Probably a lot of horses in Greece that would love to be the Greek horse. All right. Me and the minutia. So we're going for win number 5. We can qualify this deck for the next round if we make it out of here alive. It's been... We had that first game that was against a decent control deck. We haven't really had that caliber of opponent since. Hopefully this opponent will give us a run. And that Binding Mummy, owed all day, that Binding Mummy. Yeah, 4-1 now. This is the big game. This is the one. You get through this and you'll see this deck again. Oh no, but Disperse is on the scene. Gonna make me work for it. That's okay. I'll gladly play the Mummy over the with the diregraf down. Yep. Please don't kill this. Please don't kill this. Please don't kill this. I want it to live. I want to live. Alchemist Vial, sweet. Draw ye that card. Missed that land drop. Not a good sign for the opponent. And land off the top. Sure. Let's make some dorks. Now you will never block. We have a mecha production inbound. Is that just what you think when you see islands and Alchemist Vial now? Man, you might not be wrong. I mean, maybe he's just... That's just calling it, baby. That's calling it. And there's that land. Found that land off the top. Let's see what the opponent can do with it. They're gonna fetch. They're gonna shuffle. Thank God this is all a lot faster than it is watching coverage. Ooh, they could have Censor. Am I scared of Censor? I guess not. I'm just gonna go for the curve out. No fear. Yeah. I could have tapped this Alchemist Vial, but that doesn't actually do anything. You can just sack it. Yeah, there it is. Could have just sacked it in response. Have you Ervert Twitch on iOS? What's that mean? Have you Evert Twitch on iOS? You mean, do I ever Twitch on iOS? I don't know how. I know that it can be done now, but I do not do it. No. Nah, no thank you. I'll just stick to Xbox where it's as easy as hitting one button. It's a rather glorious experience. It is a shame the Xbox meta isn't better because like streaming on the Xbox is so easy and so much fun. So, and there we go. Make our zombies bigger. We could throw even more of a haymaker, but it's unnecessary. And we'll just bring the pain. And we'll chalk this up with a 5-1 record. Woo! Yeehaw. Hope I didn't just damage some eardrums. Sorry. Got excited. So that is Zombie Tokens. The Undead Anointed Procession takes 5 in a row after losing game 1 to a Grixis control deck. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we are going to be continuing to make more videos with more decks later. I'll be posting the deck list for this in the description when I send this to YouTube, and in the archives on Twitch, and in the Twitch, I guess you call it like a news feed. If you scroll down on my Twitch channel, there's just a list of posts there, and I'm posting deck lists there, so you can bookmark that, come save it, check out what decks I'm playing anytime if you just need some ideas, something to play. And you can subscribe to the channel because that's a new thing I can do. I got that Twitch partnership like right after the game died, which is so amazing. The game was pronounced dead by Wizards, and then I become Twitch partner. Awesome. But if you like, especially if you got that Prime money, like I got that Amazon Prime, so I get a free subscription a month. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it encourages me to keep doing things. I'm much less likely to run away if people are subscribed, because then I feel bad because I'm A, losing money, and B, coming up short for your attention. You can also cheer for me with bits, like Omega just did, so thank you. And I will be back. I don't know if I'll be able to make it tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day, but I'm sure you will see me on a Friday and maybe a few other days. So, woohoo! All right, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Adios.